Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when we are tested, not by the world, not by our circumstances, but by ourselves. A moment when life whispers, "Do you have what it takes to rise?" And in that moment, we have two choices: to surrender or to stand up. I want to tell you a story, not of success, not of perfection, but of transformation. Because no one is born unstoppable. We become unstoppable. There was a time when I thought my life was over. The walls around me seemed to close in, and the dreams I once held so tightly shattered before my eyes. I asked myself, why me? But life, in its strange way, was asking me a different question. Why not you? You see, challenges do not come to destroy us. They come to redefine us. They strip away everything we thought we needed and leave us with only what truly matters: courage, faith, and the willingness to rise again. Pain is not our enemy. It is our greatest teacher. It is in our darkest moments that we find our light. And when we embrace our struggles, we turn them into stepping stones toward greatness. So what does it take to become unstoppable? It takes a decision to refuse to let our circumstances define us. It takes a vision, not of what is, but of what can be. And above all, it takes action, the willingness to rise again and again until standing strong becomes second nature. Adversity is often seen as an unwelcome guest in our lives, a force that disrupts our plans, shakes our confidence, and leaves us questioning our path. It comes in different forms: failures, heartbreaks, losses, disappointments, and unforeseen challenges that seem too overwhelming to bear. In those moments, it is easy to believe that adversity marks the end of our dreams, the collapse of everything we have worked for, and the destruction of the person we once were. But the truth is, adversity is not the end. It is the beginning of transformation. It is in our darkest moments that we are given the greatest opportunity to evolve, to rebuild, and to discover strength within us that we never knew existed. When life takes an unexpected turn and we are faced with struggles that seem insurmountable, we often ask, why is this happening to me? But what if, instead of seeing adversity as a punishment, we saw it as a challenge to grow, to shift our perspective, and to become a better version of ourselves? The human spirit is not meant to remain stagnant. We are designed to adapt, to overcome, and to rise above difficulties. Every great story of success is built upon moments of struggle and failure. Without adversity, there is no growth. Without pain, there is no strength. Without setbacks, there is no comeback. Think about the strongest people you know. They are not strong because they have never suffered. They are strong because they have suffered and yet chosen to keep going. There are people who have been knocked down by life but have refused to stay down. They have faced rejection but continued to believe in themselves. They have walked through fire but have come out stronger, wiser, and more resilient. They did not allow adversity to define them. Instead, they allowed it to refine them. Adversity is a mirror. It reflects back to us who we truly are, beyond the facades we present to the world. It strips away the superficial and forces us to confront our deepest fears and insecurities. It pushes us to question our limitations and challenges the narratives we have told ourselves for so long. In that process, we are given the opportunity to rewrite our story. We are given the chance to break free from old patterns, to build new habits, and to step into a version of ourselves that we never thought possible. One of the most powerful lessons adversity teaches us is that we are far more resilient than we believe. There are moments in life when we feel like we cannot take another step forward, when the weight of our burden seems too heavy to carry. But then, somehow, we do take another step, and then another, and before we know it, we have walked through the storm and reached the other side. We look back and realize that what once seemed impossible is now a part of our story, a testament to our ability to endure, to fight, and to survive. The beauty of transformation lies in the fact that it is often unexpected. When we are in the midst of pain, we rarely see the purpose behind it. It is only when we have moved beyond it that we recognize how it shaped us, how it strengthened us, and how it led us to something greater. Adversity has a way of forcing us out of our comfort zones, pushing us to explore new possibilities, and guiding us toward paths we never would have considered otherwise. Sometimes, what feels like a devastating loss is actually a redirection towards something far greater. The caterpillar does not know, as it struggles inside its cocoon, that it is preparing to become a butterfly. All it knows is that it is confined, trapped in darkness, and unable to move freely. But it is precisely in that confinement that the transformation occurs. Without the struggle of breaking free, the wings of the butterfly would never be strong enough to fly. The same is true for us. The struggles we face are not meant to break us. They are meant to prepare us for the life that awaits us. Adversity also teaches us empathy. When we go through hardships, we gain a deeper understanding of the struggles of others. We learn to be more compassionate, more kind, and more patient. We begin to see beyond ourselves and recognize the silent battles that people around us are fighting. Our own pain allows us to connect with others in a way that we never could have before. It teaches us that we are not alone, that suffering is a universal experience, and that there is great power in sharing our stories. Many of the greatest leaders, thinkers, and innovators in history were shaped by adversity. They faced failures, rejections, and losses that could have easily defeated them, but instead, they chose to rise. They saw their struggles as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. They refused to let their circumstances dictate their future. Instead of being broken by adversity, they were built by it. When we embrace adversity as a catalyst for transformation, we shift from a mindset of victimhood to a mindset of empowerment. We stop asking, why me, and start asking, what can I learn from this? We stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities. We begin to trust in the process, knowing that every challenge is shaping us into the person we are meant to be. True strength is not found in a life free of adversity. It is found in the ability to rise despite it. It is found in the moments when we refuse to give up, when we choose hope over despair, and when we keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. The journey of transformation is not always easy, but it is always worth it, because on the other side of struggle, there is growth. On the other side of pain, there is wisdom. And on the other side of adversity, there is the unstoppable version of ourselves waiting to emerge. Pain is one of the most profound teachers in life. It comes in many forms: physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual. It arrives uninvited, disrupts our comfort, and forces us to face parts of ourselves that we often try to ignore. In the beginning, pain feels like an enemy, something we desperately want to escape. But if we allow ourselves to truly experience it, to sit with it instead of running away, we begin to understand its deeper purpose. Pain is not just suffering, it is transformation. It is the process through which we discover our true strength, the kind of strength we never knew existed until we were pushed to our limits. When we go through difficult moments in life, we often feel as though we are breaking. It is easy to believe that we are weak when we are hurting, that we are incapable of moving forward, that we are somehow less because of our suffering. But the reality is quite the opposite. Strength is not about avoiding pain, it is about facing it and choosing to move forward despite it. It is in our lowest moments that we find our greatest resilience. Pain strips away everything superficial. It takes away the illusions we have built around ourselves, the distractions, the false beliefs, and leaves us with the raw truth of who we really are. In that vulnerability, we are given the opportunity to rebuild ourselves, not as who we were before, but as someone stronger, wiser, and more courageous. Pain forces us to confront our fears. Many times, the things we are most afraid of in life are the very things that hold us back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loss. These fears keep us from taking risks, from growing, from becoming the person we are meant to be. But when we experience pain, we are often forced to face those fears head on. We are no longer given the option to hide from them. And in doing so, we realize that they do not have as much power over us as we once believed. What once seemed unbearable becomes something we can endure. What once seemed like the end becomes the beginning of something new. Pain is also the birthplace of self-discovery. We often define ourselves by our successes, by the things that come easily to us, by the moments when everything is going well. But true self-awareness comes not in times of comfort, but in times of struggle. It is when we are tested that we see who we truly are. Do we give up or do we keep going? Do we allow pain to make us bitter or do we allow it to make us better? Do we close ourselves off or do we open ourselves to new perspectives? These are the questions that pain forces us to answer. And in answering them, we uncover parts of ourselves that we never knew existed. Pain also teaches us patience. In today's world, we are so accustomed to instant gratification. We want solutions immediately, relief instantly. But pain does not work that way. Healing takes time. Growth takes time. There is no shortcut to overcoming struggle. We must sit with it, learn from it, and allow it to shape us. And in that process, we learn one of the most valuable lessons of all, that strength is not found in resisting pain, but in embracing it, in allowing it to do its work within us. There is a reason why some of the strongest people we know are those who have endured the most pain. They have been through hardships, through losses, through moments that tested them beyond what they thought they could bear. And yet, they came out on the other side, not unscathed, but transformed. Their pain became their power. Their struggles became their wisdom. Their darkest moments became the foundation for their greatest strengths. They learned that pain is not something to be feared, but something to be understood, something that can be used as a tool for growth. Pain also deepens our ability to connect with others. When we experience suffering, we gain a new level of empathy. We begin to understand what it means to struggle, to feel lost, to hurt in ways that words cannot fully express. And because of that, we become more compassionate. We start to see others not just for who they appear to be, but for what they may be carrying inside. Pain reminds us that we are all human, that we are all fighting battles, that kindness and understanding are some of the most powerful gifts we can offer to one another. One of the greatest misconceptions about strength is that it means never showing weakness, never feeling pain. But real strength is the opposite. True strength is allowing yourself to feel deeply, to break if necessary, and to rise again despite it all. It is not about suppressing pain, but about learning to navigate through it. It is about using every hardship as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. It is about recognizing that every struggle has something to teach us if we are willing to listen. There will always be moments in life when pain feels overwhelming, when it seems like it will never end, like there is no way forward. But those moments are not the end of the story. They are the turning points. They are the moments that shape who we become. Every challenge we overcome adds another layer to our strength, another piece to the puzzle of who we are meant to be. The pain we endure today becomes the wisdom we carry tomorrow. The suffering we experience becomes the foundation for the strength that will carry us through the rest of our journey. If there is one thing to remember about pain, it is that it is never meaningless. It always serves a purpose, even when we cannot see it in the moment. Sometimes it is there to teach us resilience. Sometimes it is there to push us toward change. Sometimes it is there to help us let go of what no longer serves us. And sometimes it is simply there to remind us that we are stronger than we ever imagined. Pain is not the end, it is the beginning. It is the fire that refines us, the storm that shapes us, the force that pushes us to become more than we ever thought possible. And when we emerge from it, we do not just survive, we rise. We rise with a strength that can never be taken away, a wisdom that can never be undone, and a courage that makes us truly unstoppable. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us when we least expect them. Sometimes it feels as though the universe is testing our limits, placing obstacles in our path that seem insurmountable. In those moments, it is easy to believe that our circumstances define us, that where we come from, what happens to us, or the struggles we face are the final word on who we are. But the truth is, we are not defined by our circumstances. We are defined by how we respond to them. It is not the hardships themselves that shape our destiny, but the choices we make in the face of those hardships. Every person experiences pain, loss, failure, and disappointment at some point in life. No one is immune to suffering. Some people are born into poverty, while others face rejection, betrayal, or immense personal loss. Some encounter setbacks in their careers, while others deal with illnesses or disabilities that change the course of their lives. Yet, despite these struggles, we see individuals who rise above their challenges and refuse to let their difficulties dictate their futures. We admire people who, despite their circumstances, find a way to succeed, to inspire others, and to create something meaningful. Their stories remind us that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can always control how we react to it. The human spirit is incredibly resilient. Time and time again, history has shown us that people who refuse to be defined by their hardships can overcome even the most difficult situations. Some of the most inspiring figures in the world were once faced with circumstances that seemed impossible to escape. They experienced failure after failure, faced rejection after rejection, yet they persevered. They did not let their struggles dictate their worth or their potential. Instead, they used those struggles as fuel to push forward. They made a conscious decision to respond with courage, determination, and unwavering faith in themselves. One of the most powerful aspects of our response to adversity is perspective. Two people can go through the exact same situation and come out with completely different outlooks on life. One may choose to see it as an excuse to give up, while the other may see it as an opportunity to grow. The circumstances themselves do not determine the outcome. Our mindset does. If we allow our difficulties to break us, they will. But if we see them as lessons, as stepping stones, as moments that challenge us to become better, then we emerge from them stronger than before. There are moments in life when we feel powerless, as if we have no control over our situation. It is easy to fall into the trap of believing that we are victims of fate, that life has dealt us an unfair hand and there is nothing we can do about it. But this mindset only keeps us stuck. The moment we realize that our power lies in our response, everything changes. We may not be able to control external circumstances, but we can always control our attitude, our actions, and our choices. That is where true power lies, not in the absence of hardship, but in the ability to rise above it. Resilience is not something we are born with. It is something we develop through experience. Every time we choose to face a challenge rather than run from it, we build our inner strength. Every time we refuse to let failure define us, we grow. Every time we get back up after being knocked down, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of enduring more than we ever thought possible. It is through hardship that we discover what we are truly made of. We learn that we are not fragile, that we are not weak, that we are not at the mercy of our circumstances. We learn that we have the power to shape our own lives, no matter what obstacles come our way. There is an incredible transformation that happens when we stop seeing adversity as something that holds us back and start seeing it as something that pushes us forward. The moment we shift our perspective from "why is this happening to me" to "what can I learn from this?" is the moment we take control of our own story. Instead of being victims of circumstance, we become architects of our own lives. We take ownership of our responses, our decisions, and our future. We recognize that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to build something greater than before. Many people spend their lives waiting for their circumstances to change before they can be happy, before they can succeed, before they can feel fulfilled. But the truth is, external circumstances will always be unpredictable. There will always be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of uncertainty. If we base our happiness and self-worth on things beyond our control, we will always feel powerless. The only way to find true strength is to anchor ourselves in something deeper, our own resilience, our own ability to choose our response, our own unwavering belief that we are greater than our struggles. People who have faced great adversity often emerge with a sense of purpose that they never had before. Pain has a way of stripping away the unnecessary and forcing us to focus on what truly matters. It teaches us that success is not just about external achievements, but about the strength of character we build along the way. It reminds us that true fulfillment comes not from an easy life, but from a meaningful one, a life where we rise above our challenges and use our experiences to inspire and uplift others. When we refuse to be defined by our circumstances, we take back control of our narrative. We no longer allow external events to dictate who we are or what we are capable of achieving. We understand that our struggles do not make us less worthy or less capable. Instead, they become part of our story, a story of resilience, of growth, of perseverance. We become living proof that it is not where we come from or what happens to us that defines us, but how we choose to respond. The most important thing to remember is that we always have a choice. No matter how difficult our circumstances may be, we can choose to respond with strength. We can choose to keep going even when everything inside us wants to give up. We can choose to believe in ourselves even when others doubt us. We can choose to turn our pain into purpose, our failures into lessons, our struggles into triumphs. That choice, more than anything else, is what defines us. It is what separates those who let their circumstances control them from those who rise above them. Every single person has the ability to rewrite their own story. Our past does not define our future. Our failures do not define our potential. Our hardships do not define our worth. The only thing that truly defines us is how we choose to respond. And when we choose resilience, when we choose courage, when we choose to keep moving forward no matter what, we prove that nothing, not our past, not our struggles, not our circumstances, can ever hold us back. We are not defined by what happens to us, we are defined by what we do about it. Becoming unstoppable is not something that happens by chance. It is not a gift that some people are born with while others are left behind, nor is it the result of luck or external circumstances. It is a choice. It is the decision to rise above challenges, to refuse to be limited by fear, and to push forward despite obstacles. It is about having the courage to take risks, the vision to see beyond temporary setbacks, and the willingness to take action, even when the path is unclear. The people who become unstoppable in life are not those who never face difficulties, but those who refuse to be defined by them. They are the ones who understand that setbacks are not failures, but stepping stones, that rejection is not an end, but a redirection, and that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Courage is the foundation of an unstoppable mindset. It is easy to dream, but dreams remain dreams unless we have the courage to pursue them. Courage is what allows us to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to face failure without losing faith in ourselves. It is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. Every great achievement in history was made possible by someone who had the courage to defy the odds, to stand up against doubt, and to believe in something greater than their fears. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty. But those who choose to be unstoppable recognize that fear is not a barrier, it is a challenge to overcome. They refuse to let it dictate their actions, and instead, they use it as fuel to push themselves further. Having a vision is equally important. Without vision, courage has no direction. Becoming unstoppable requires a clear sense of purpose, a deep understanding of what one wants to achieve, and an unwavering commitment to that goal. Vision is what keeps us moving forward when things get tough. It is what allows us to see past temporary difficulties and stay focused on the bigger picture. People who are unstoppable do not let momentary failures distract them from their long-term goals. They have the ability to see beyond their current struggles and understand that challenges are part of the journey, not the end of it. Vision gives meaning to our efforts, and it provides the motivation needed to keep going, even when progress seems slow or invisible. Action is the bridge between courage and vision. Without action, courage is wasted, and vision remains just a dream. The world is full of people with great ideas, with powerful dreams, and with inspiring goals, but only those who take consistent action turn those dreams into reality. Becoming unstoppable means committing to action every single day, even when motivation fades, even when results are not immediate, and even when doubt tries to creep in. It means showing up, putting in the work, and refusing to make excuses. It is easy to wait for the perfect moment, but those who are unstoppable know that the perfect moment does not exist. They do not wait for ideal circumstances. They create them through relentless effort and persistence. The persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Every person who has ever achieved something great has faced setbacks. They have been told no, they have experienced failure, and they have had moments of doubt. But the difference is that they did not let those moments define them. They kept going, they adjusted, they learned, and they kept pushing forward. Becoming unstoppable means understanding that failure is not a sign to quit. It is an opportunity to grow, to refine our approach, and to come back stronger. Those who are truly unstoppable do not see obstacles as reasons to stop, but as challenges to conquer. They embrace the struggle because they know that overcoming it is what builds true strength. One of the biggest challenges in becoming unstoppable is overcoming self-doubt. The mind is powerful, and if we allow negative thoughts to take control, they can hold us back more than any external obstacle ever could. People who are unstoppable have learned to master their mindset. They do not allow fear, doubt, or past failures to dictate their future. Instead, they focus on their strengths, on their progress, and on the belief that they are capable of achieving whatever they set their minds to. Self-belief is not about arrogance. It is about knowing that no matter what happens, we have the ability to keep going. It is about trusting ourselves enough to take risks and to keep moving forward, even when success is not guaranteed. Becoming unstoppable also requires resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always arise. The ability to adapt, to bounce back from failures, and to keep going despite setbacks is what truly defines an unstoppable person. Resilience is built through experience. Every challenge we overcome strengthens us. Every failure we learn from makes us wiser. And every time we refuse to give up, we reinforce our ability to keep going. Those who are unstoppable do not dwell on their losses, they use them as fuel. They understand that setbacks are temporary and that as long as they keep moving forward, they will eventually reach their goals. Another key element of becoming unstoppable is discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps us going even when we do not feel like it. It is easy to work hard when we are inspired, but the real test is whether we continue to take action when things become difficult. Discipline means committing to the process, showing up every day, and staying focused even when distractions arise. Those who are unstoppable understand that success is not about one big moment, but about the small, consistent actions taken over time. They know that progress is built through persistence, and they do not allow temporary discomfort to stop them from achieving their long-term goals. Having the right mindset is crucial, but surrounding ourselves with the right people is just as important. No one becomes unstoppable alone. The people we surround ourselves with have a significant impact on our mindset, our beliefs, and our actions. Those who choose to be unstoppable seek out those who inspire them, who challenge them to be better, and who push them toward growth. They avoid negativity, they distance themselves from those who discourage them, and they build relationships that support their vision. Energy is contagious, and being around the right people can make all the difference in maintaining the drive to keep going. Becoming unstoppable is not about never feeling fear, never experiencing failure, or never facing doubt. It is about choosing to rise despite those things. It is about making the decision every day to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep taking action no matter what stands in the way. It requires courage to step outside of comfort zones, vision to stay focused on the bigger picture, and relentless action to turn dreams into reality. Those who are unstoppable are not special or different. They have simply made the choice to refuse to be limited by anything, including their own fears. And that choice is available to anyone willing to take it. There are moments in life when we feel small, as if the world is too vast and we are too insignificant to make a difference. There are times when self-doubt creeps in, whispering that we are not enough, that we do not have what it takes, that our struggles define us more than our strengths. But the truth is, we are far more powerful than we realize. Within each of us exists a strength that has yet to be fully uncovered. a resilience that has yet to be tested, and a potential that has yet to be fully awakened. The story of our lives is still being written, and every challenge, every victory, and every failure is just another chapter leading us towards something greater. Power is not something that exists outside of us. It is not something reserved for the lucky, the talented, or the chosen few. It is something that lies within, waiting for us to claim it. Often we do not recognize our own power because we are too focused on what we lack. We compare ourselves to others, measuring our worth by someone else's success, and in doing so, we fail to see the unique strengths that we possess. But real power does not come from what we have, it comes from who we are. It is the ability to rise after falling, to push forward despite fear, and to believe in ourselves even when no one else does. Life has a way of testing us, of placing obstacles in our path that seem too great to overcome. But every challenge we have faced up until this moment has been proof of our strength. We have already survived difficult days, we have already conquered fears, and we have already proven time and time again that we are capable of more than we once thought possible. The fact that we are still here, still standing, still pushing forward is a testament to the power within us. Every struggle we have endured has shaped us, molding us into someone wiser, stronger, and more resilient. It is easy to believe that our past defines us, that the mistakes we have made or the hardships we have faced have already determined our future. But our story is still being written. The past is just one chapter. It does not decide the ending. We have the ability to rewrite our own narrative at any moment. Every decision we make today has the power to change the course of our lives. The person we were yesterday does not have to be the person we are tomorrow. Growth is always possible, and transformation is always within reach. Fear often holds us back from embracing our true power. We fear failure, rejection, and the unknown. We fear that we are not enough, that we do not have what it takes, that we will try and fall short. But the only way to truly fail is to never try at all. Fear is nothing more than a test, a challenge asking us if we are willing to step beyond our comfort zones and discover what we are truly capable of. Every time we face our fears, we take back a piece of our power. Every time we push past doubt, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than we ever realized. Many people spend their lives waiting for the right moment, waiting for validation, waiting for circumstances to change before they take action. But the truth is, there is never a perfect moment. If we wait for everything to be ideal before we step into our power, we will be waiting forever. The time to act is now. The time to believe in ourselves is now. The time to write the next chapter of our story is now. Each of us has a purpose, a unique reason for being here. There is something within us that no one else has, a perspective, a strength, a passion that is entirely our own. When we begin to embrace that, when we stop doubting our worth and start stepping into who we are meant to be, we become unstoppable. The world is shaped by those who refuse to let fear, failure, or uncertainty hold them back. The ones who dare to dream, to act, and to believe in something greater than their circumstances are the ones who change the world. There will always be moments of doubt, times when it feels easier to give up than to keep going. But in those moments, we must remember that we are still writing our story. No setback is permanent, no failure is final, and no struggle is without purpose. Every experience, good or bad, is shaping us, preparing us for what comes next. The hardest moments in life often lead to the greatest transformation. Pain, loss, and hardship may break us temporarily, but they also rebuild us into something stronger than before. The greatest power we have is the ability to choose. We may not be able to control everything that happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. We can choose to let our struggles define us, or we can choose to let them refine us. We can choose to see obstacles as barriers, or we can choose to see them as opportunities. We can choose to be victims of circumstance, or we can choose to take ownership of our story. Some of the most incredible people in history were once told they would never succeed. They faced rejection, ridicule, and failure, but they refused to accept those limitations. They chose to believe in themselves when no one else did. They chose to keep going when the world told them to quit. They chose to see their struggles as stepping stones rather than stop signs. And because they made that choice, They left behind legacies that continue to inspire generations. Our potential is limitless, but we must be willing to step into it. We must be willing to stop doubting ourselves, to stop underestimating what we are capable of, and to stop waiting for someone else to tell us we are ready. We are already ready. Everything we need is already within us. The strength, the resilience, the wisdom, it is all there, waiting to be claimed. No matter what has happened in the past, no matter how many times we have fallen or how many times we have doubted ourselves, we can choose today to believe in our own power. We can choose today to take a step forward, no matter how small. We can choose today to turn the page and start a new chapter. The story is still being written, and we are the authors. We hold the pen. We decide how it unfolds. The journey will not always be easy. There will be moments of struggle, moments of fear, moments of exhaustion. But through it all, we must remember that we are stronger than we think. We must remember that we have faced difficulty before and come out the other side. We must remember that inside us lies an unstoppable force waiting to be unleashed. The most powerful thing we can do is believe in ourselves. When we truly understand that we are not limited by our past, by our fears, or by our circumstances, we unlock the ability to shape our own destiny. We begin to move through life with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, we have the strength to rise. We stop waiting for permission and start creating our own path. We stop playing small and start stepping into our full potential. The story is not over. The best chapters have yet to be written, and the power to shape them lies in our hands. The story of our lives is still unfolding, and we hold the pen. We are not defined by our past, our struggles, or our fears. We are defined by how we rise, how we push forward, and how we choose to embrace our own power. The challenges we face are not meant to break us. They are meant to shape us, to strengthen us, and to prepare us for something greater. So let us step forward with courage. Let us believe in our own potential, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Let us refuse to let doubt, fear, or failure dictate the course of our journey, because we are stronger than we think, braver than we realize, and more capable than we have ever imagined. The best chapters of our story have yet to be written, and the world is waiting for us to step into the fullness of who we were meant to be.